Lads and ladies, welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. So, just today/yesterday, I don't know, like 20 some hours ago, we got some huge leaks for Battlefield 6. These leaks are coming out of what appears to be the Chinese Battlefield Labs test environment. And when I say huge, I mean huge. Pretty much everything from the multiplayer side of the game is included in these leaks, complete with screen recordings. Obviously, I can't show the footage here on my channel, but I will leave links to the Reddit posts down in the description so that you can go take a look for yourself if you want to after the video. So without further ado, let's get started. I guess we'll just go through each individual Reddit post one by one. There is a separate post for each one of these leaks. Each leak deals with basically a different subject matter. So we'll just go through each one and describe what new information is included. And again, I will leave links to the Reddit posts themselves in the description down below. All right, so the first post we'll talk about is a video showing new Portal gameplay. This particular gameplay takes place on the map Liberation Peak, and the game mode that we see in the video is very similar to some of what we have already seen in the trailer. So basically, imagine the map, of course, is Liberation Peak, like I just mentioned, and smack in the middle of the map is essentially the Battlefield version of Only Up. There's just this giant structure built from different random pieces of map. So there are containers and sections of stairway, buildings, and roads. There's one section that is just all of these giant electrical towers stacked and leaning on each other, and it's just climbing up this giant structure and battling along the way. The interesting thing for me about this particular gameplay is seeing just how high they were able to build this structure up into the atmosphere on the Liberation Peak map, which, I mean, makes sense, right? You can fly planes up there, but it's just kind of crazy seeing people on foot climbing a structure that really literally reaches above the mountaintops on the map. Next up is a whole bunch of footage of gameplay from Mirak Valley. I've actually seen two different videos showcasing Mirak Valley. One is on Reddit and one's actually currently live on YouTube right now. The video on Reddit shows infantry gameplay. It shows going in and out of the houses, driving vehicles along the roads, and it really covers a very large section of the map. It's basically that entire middle section where all of the structures are located. And then the second video that is currently live on YouTube, I don't know how long it's going to remain live on YouTube, is actually helicopter gameplay from Mirak Valley. And in that helicopter gameplay, you get a bird's eye view of really the entire map. And now, having seen both of these videos, my impressions of Mirak Valley are, one, it is indeed a large map. It's not, I don't think, huge by Battlefield standards, but it does look to be a traditionally sized large Battlefield map. There are runways in both spawn points, so that's really good to see. Secondly, the atmosphere in Mirak Valley, it just looks downright pleasant. Like, if you remember Liberation Peak, it was gray and overcast. Mirak Valley, it takes place on like a sunny, clear day. The sky is blue, the sun is shining, the trees and the grass are green. So it looks like a pleasant environment to play in. So if you're looking for a nice, bright, sunny day in which to conduct your warfare, I think Mirak Valley is going to be your map. The next clip we're going to talk about is a really short clip. It's only about 35 seconds long, but in this clip, you get to see the mortar in use. And the best way that I think I can describe this is that it looks very similar to the mortar in Battlefield 3. So basically, you set the mortar down on the ground, and when you interact with it, you're going to get a little crosshair on your mini-map that's going to show you where your mortar is going to land. In addition to the crosshair, you also get like a flight path indicator, so you can make sure that your mortar isn't going to, hit any obstructions along the way, and then you fire your mortar. Now, one thing to note is that in this video, it does show the mortar having infinite ammo. I don't know if this is just a labs thing. I don't know what the deal is with this, but hopefully when the game launches, the mortar isn't going to have infinite ammo, because that could be a serious issue. But again, I don't know, this could just be early testing stuff. This could be a test where they're specifically asking to test the mortar, and so they're giving infinite ammo. We just don't know. That would be my guess, because it just doesn't seem like a really smart move to give the mortar infinite ammo. However, that is what it shows in the video. Next up is another short clip. This one's about 1.5 minutes long, and in this clip, it just shows somebody going through every single gun that's going to be available in the game at launch. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to list all the guns here. If you want to know, you can go watch the video. After that, we have a video in which somebody is showing off the new weapon inspection in Battlefield 6. And this one's actually kind of interesting. I think this is kind of neat. So it appears as though in Battlefield 6, when you inspect your weapon, instead of being locked into a predetermined animation like you would see in Call of Duty, for instance, what's going to happen is you will actually pull out your weapon and you will be able to then inspect it freely. You can rotate it around, look at it from different angles, perform different actions and animations. It's not really clear exactly how it works. It's just kind of showing what it looks like, but it does look very cool, very interesting. The next clip is very short. It's only 10 seconds long, but it takes place on Operation Firestorm, and it shows the new ladder gadget being used. And in general, it does look like the ladder works, I think, pretty much how you would imagine it, right? So you pull out the ladder, and now one thing is that it does look like you can place it anywhere on the map, pretty much in any position, so vertical, horizontal, you can even place it laying down flat. But when you pull it out, you're going to get an indicator, and if the indicator is gray or bluish, then you can put the ladder down. If the indicator is red, you can't put it down. The last clip that we're going to talk about is the clip that, for me at least, is definitely the most interesting. This clip shows somebody in the menus going through the different classes and showing all of their new unique subclasses. So every different class now has 2 different subclasses that you can choose from, starting with the Assault class, which has either the Frontliner or the Grenadier. The Frontliner is described as breakthrough enemy defenses, serving as the tip of the spear for all ranges of tactical engagement. And the Grenadier says, excel in close quarters combat, stopping hostiles in their tracks with the use of small explosives. For the Engineer, you can choose from either Anti-Armor or Combat Engineer, with Anti-Armor saying, strike enemy armor and hostile vehicles decisively, keeping the upper hand with heavier weaponry. With Combat Engineer being what appears to be a more support-focused role, saying, shield friendly forces from incoming threats and maintain combat vehicles to keep them mission ready. The support class can choose to be either a combat medic or fire support. With combat medic, you become a mobile medical unit to heal teammates and protect them with improved defensive gadgets. And fire support will suppress the enemy and keep squad mates supplied with ammo to maintain combat effectiveness. And finally, we have Recon, where you can choose to be either a sniper or a ranger. A sniper will spot threats from a distance and neutralize targets with the use of long-range marksmanship. The ranger, on the other hand, will forge a clear path ahead, operating behind enemy lines to take out hostiles and avoid detection. And that's it. That covers all of the leaks up to this point. Like I said, I think with all of this new information, we're getting a pretty clear picture of what the multiplayer is going to look like in Battlefield 6. And I gotta be honest, I think it's looking pretty darn good. Like I said, the most exciting thing for me is definitely the new subclasses. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think Battlefield works best when each individual class, or really each individual teammate, has a clearly defined role and a space in the battlefield where you can really shine and feel like you're doing something useful. And these new subclasses just look like it's going to provide even more unique ways for us to do that, so I'm really excited about that. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, don't forget to punish that like button and maybe even subscribe. Also, don't forget to visit me on Twitch. That's Grip It by the Husk on Twitch. I'm streaming pretty much every chance that I possibly can. It would be rad to see you there. Drop a line in the chat, ask me any questions, whatever you want to do. It would be great to get to know you. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one real soon.